Welcome into KSU Nation, the best K-State and Big 12 podcast out there. I'm Stevie B.
And I am Kenny G.
And in today's episode, we're talking K-State versus TCU Saturday, 2:30 p.m. on Fox at Bill Snyder Family Stadium. Kenny, your initial thoughts. You don't have to say your score prediction or anything. I've seen the stats, so I have an unfair advantage here. Can K-State win on Saturday? Are they going to get it done, or can they get it done, or is the season just already over?
Oh, I mean, Steve, you're asking me, can they win? Well, yeah, anybody can win, on any given day, unless your name is Oklahoma State. But honestly, though, I mean, K-State, we've said this. How many weeks has it been in a row, Steve, that we've said, man, this team is loaded with talent all over the field. I mean, they definitely have the opportunity to win. And can they win? Well, of course they can. But will they win? That's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother question, honestly. And that really boils down to everybody firing on all cylinders, not just the players, man, also the coaches. Because I would chalk up last week's loss to not the players, it was the coaching staff and their poor decisions when it came down to late game situations like play calls, clock management. We've talked ad nauseum about how, we're sick and tired of, these play calls, and it finally really bit them in the butt last week. I mean, because the players, man, they were playing out of their mind. A lot of them were playing really, really well. What I'd like to see, though, initial thoughts, is that K-State keep the fire going. I mean, we're playing at home. This is homecoming, kind of a big game. Stevie, I bet you're probably I think you're going to be there, right? You're going to be at this game?
I'm definitely going to be at the game.
Yeah, of course.
I don't miss home games, Kenny.
Of course. You never miss a home game, and not only just a home game, but also homecoming, being a alum yourself. Steve, my biggest thing right here, when I thought about this week, is I really don't want this to be a doomsday sort of situation. There's a lot more, there's a lot worse that could happen. Obviously this is not the start that K-State wanted, but you got to look at the bright side of things sometimes and look at it from an optimistic view. We still get another football game this week, and it's against a team that historically Chris Kleiman's done really well against. I think he's 5-1 against them. So yep. We get them at home. So a lot to be excited about. I don't think TCU is world beaters by any means.
No.
I think they're pretty similar to Baylor, and we just saw how K-State was going against a Baylor team, and I would say that Baylor and TCU are pretty comparable in how they like to play the game of football. I think Baylor probably has a better running game than TCU, but overall, I think K-State definitely has an opportunity to win here. And, I know it's funny to say this, but there's still a chance that K-State could make it to Arlington.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was talking to a coworker today.
So you got to be happy. You got to be excited. And I'll just say that it's still on the table, Steve. It's still mathematically possible. So you can't give up on the Cats. Everybody should show up and show out at the K-State game.
It's going to be sold out again. It's going to be sold out again. K-State fans still care. We are this close to being 6-0, 13 points away from being 6-0. I do think – here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say it right now. I think K-State wins on Saturday. I've done my research. I've looked at the stats. I've watched the tape. I've seen – things, and I just want to say I think K-State has a good enough team to win this game. I think if K-State's coaches cannot get in the way of that, that would be ideal. I think that they have not put the players in the best position to win all the time. You talked about it already. I want to see a good game from the defense. K-State has not allowed fewer than 23 points in a single game all season. Not once. I mean, it allowed 24, 35, 24, 23, 20. Actually, I think 20 is the lowest they've allowed. And then 28 defensively last week. So I want to see K-State hold TCU to under 20 points. Will that happen? Probably not, but I would like to see it. I want to see the K-State of old. I think Avery Johnson is good enough. I think the offensive line is good enough. The receivers are good enough. I think K-State is good enough to still get to Arlington. Is it going to happen? Probably not. Like you said, mathematically, they're still in it, Kenny. They just need to go 7-0 the rest of the way, and then hopefully getting a tie for second place.
Steve, how crazy would it be if at the end of the season, including the bowl game, K-State went 9-4, the same as we did last year? How crazy would that be?
That'd be amazing. That would be amazing.
Given the start that we had.
Probably, I would say less than a 10% chance. Probably less than a 5% chance, if we're being honest.
But you're saying there's a chance.
But there is a chance. Everything is still out there in front of K-State. K-State should have beaten Baylor. They didn't. K-State should have beaten Army. They didn't. K-State could have beaten Iowa State and did not. K-State could have beaten Arizona and did not.
I would say out of all those games, I would say that Arizona was probably the most egregious offensive play I've seen. I mean, they just didn't show up that game. The K-State that showed up for UCF and Baylor, they beat that Arizona team. They beat that Army team for sure.
K-State doesn't know how to play on the road. They haven't won an away game in almost a year at this point. I think you can go. I think you can pick a different game, and there's a different reason why K-State lost. I think that game, it's the offense. I mean, as bad as K-State played on offense for the fourth quarter and a large majority of the first quarter, I would still pin that loss at Baylor squarely on a defense. They couldn't get off the field. They could not get off the field. They couldn't get off the field against Army. I mean, I don't know how you blame the offense for that game. Like, that's definitely a defensive problem. Look at Iowa State. K-State defense could not get off the field in the fourth quarter, right? Like, every game, it's something different. Like, Arizona, definitely the offense. And so hopefully K-State can figure it out. There's a lot of guys, a lot of pieces that could come back. Will they? Probably not. I'd like to see Austin Romaine have a good game again. He played terrible at Baylor. Now, that's not a really good matchup for him. He's better against running teams, of course, but you want to see your stars do well, and I want to see Avery Johnson also not turn a ball over again. The interception was egregious. It was terrible. It cannot happen at that point in the game. It cannot. K-State still could have won the game, though. K-State still could have won the game. It's not like they lost because of him. You know what I mean? Like, there were other reasons. It still shouldn't have happened. Okay, Kenny, I'm gonna give my scout of the TCU team that I watched on tape. Then we'll look at some stats. So when I was watching them play, Josh Hoover, I mean, homeboy's got 1,500 passing yards, 15 touchdowns. He has turned it over 4 times, and he has been sacked 10 times. So he's getting sacked about 2 times per game. They don't really have a running game at all. In fact, they're averaging less than 4 yards per carry. Eric McAllister is leading them in yards, 17 catches, 385 yards, 5 touchdowns. What I will say about their offense is that they run shotgun almost exclusively. Kind of a hurry-up team, as you'd expect. I actually think, from what I've seen, I think Hoover's good. I actually think Robertson's better because he is a guy that's like going to look here and come back here. Hoover's like, he drops back, and if he doesn't get rid of the ball in 3 seconds, it's probably not going to work, or he's going to run with it. He can run. He doesn't want to, but he can run. And if you're going to play man, that's not a good idea because they got some pretty fast receivers on the outside. They're going to get beat deep once or twice in this game. It's just going to happen. Defensively for TCU, I don't think they're very good. I don't think they're physical. They run a lot of zone concepts that work into man, meaning they're going to be in their zone. Once a guy comes into their zone, they ride them throughout the rest of their routes, which is what you'd want to see. I think Bud Clark is their best defensive player. I think their special teams is not good. They got a kicker missing, 20-yard field goals. I mean, I went back and watched their missed field goal against Colorado. It's pretty bad. Their play calls inside the red zone are pretty bad, and we'll look at the stats here in a minute, but they're definitely beatable. They're not as good as everyone thinks they are. And like I said, I like K-State in this game. I really, really, really do. Yeah, I think Manjack is pretty good. He made an insane one-handed catch against Colorado. You take him away and McAllister away, I think K-State wins the game. I think K-State could win a game. In fact, I think K-State could win comfortably.
Well, that sounds great, Steve. I'm excited to see if that ends up being the outcome. I did know that their kicking game has been sort of a sore thumb on on their team right now because their starting kicker is injured, and I think I don't think he's playing this week. So I think that what that means to me though is that if they're in the red zone and it's 4th down, they're probably going for it. They're probably not
100%. Unless it's like 4th and 8 or more.
I mean, it seems like they're a team that's not really equipped for a kicking game or a rushing game, like you were mentioning. Less than 4 yards of carry. That's egregious. I mean, they're going to be slinging the ball around all day long. And again, you did mention Austin Romaine, not being effective against Baylor. Well, as much as you would like to see Austin Romaine have a better game, I think this is also going to play against his weaknesses as well, because like you said, he's better against the run game. So it makes you wonder, man, how productive is he going to be? But I did like the fact of averaging 2 sacks a game, and I'm definitely going to be looking at the defensive line to get some pressure on him. Because that would be, I think, probably the key way to slowing this offense down is to get that pressure on the quarterback, get that pressure on Hoover. I think that's like the highlight of the defense it needs to be for this weekend for me. So my eyes are going to be solely on the defensive line, defensive ends, getting to the quarterback, getting some sacks, putting a lot of pressure on Hoover. You did say that he likes to get rid of the ball quickly, but I think we just need to get after him. And we do have Desert Devil in here. He's been lighting up the comment section as always. And he has a lot to say because, Arizona State, they also played TCU pretty recently, and they can tell you exactly how they did it. And, and they look good doing it too. I mean, it did come down to the wire though. But, at the end of the day, Arizona State did get the victory. So, I'm definitely hoping that K-State could follow suit with their victory of their own. And it's going to be a fun game. TCU and K-State, always a fun game to watch. K-State historically always been more of a physical team. TCU always been more of a finesse team. Mm-hmm. And it'll come down to, I mean, dude, this is the 2022 Big 12 championship game right here. Like these two teams, they've got a lot of good history against each other, especially. And like I said earlier, Chris Kleiman, 5-1 against Sonny Dykes. So this will be fun. This will be fun to watch, and I'm excited. Yeah. I'm not going to be there. I've got plans of my own. I am. A lot of people have been asking me, like, dude, are you ever going to go to another game? Because you seem so upset. I am going to go to another game. I actually got press box seats for the Texas Tech game, so I'm going to have a really good view against when it comes to that game. But that isn't for a while from now, so I think it's like 3 weeks because we get a bye week after this week, right?
We do.
We get a bye week after this week, so. You hope that the K-State players are not looking ahead to the bye week for a little bit of a vacation. You hope they come out swinging. It is homecoming. It is, TCU, a lot of history here. So you want them to come out swinging and playing their best football. And honestly, the last couple of weeks, they have been playing their best football. So you just hope that it continues to be the case that they're still operating on that. And again, like we said, there's still a chance, mathematically possible, that they can make it back to Arlington. So that's also got to be in the back of their mind. It can happen. There's a lot of things that have to go their way, and we'll see. Well, we will see. But the players do have something to play for. So there you go.
They do, and it's homecoming, and in fact, I mean, I don't know. You could look at any game the rest of the season and be like, oh, they don't have something to play for. They do. I want to pull up the injury, the initial availability reports. that was put out last night at 9:00 Central. Couple of things here. Toby Osunsomni did get hurt bad enough against Baylor when the offensive lineman landed on him and in his shoulder into the ground during what looked to be a sack or almost a sack. He is out for this game. So the best defensive lineman for K-State is out for an extended period of time, according to Joe Klannerman today during his press availability. Edwards is still questionable. He was last week as well. I expect him to play, but not play all the time. And Adonis Moise, another receiver, is also questionable. But everyone else has been hurt for a while. So.
Can I ask a question? What the hell is going on with George Fitzpatrick? Is he still not able to make it? I mean, my God, dude, what is going on here?
I have no idea. No idea. I'm wondering at this point if they just play in the last 4 games and then let him redshirt and come back next year.
Like, this is ridiculous, dude.
We're in game 7. We're in game 7.
I mean, he had like a heat exhaustion thing or something like
in July.
We're in October right now.
That was 3 months ago.
Does it really take that long to recover?
He might have something else we're unaware of, another injury or heart condition. We have no idea. I don't want to speculate. But
I will say this, Steve.
That could happen. I
will say this. I'm happy to see. I'm happy to not see. I guess the better way to say this. Jaron Bradley not on this list. So
he wasn't on the last week either. He didn't play.
Right. I get it. But it's good to see that he's not on this list. And it gives you a little bit of hope that we got another offensive threat on the board, because you do have Dylan Edwards that's questionable. And, Desert Devil, I'm not going to say that he's a wimp. I don't know what's going on. Nobody really does. Nobody really even knows. It's frustrating. And
insanely.
You are like, when he's playing at his best, K-State looks like a completely different team. And then when you take him out, we struggle. And so I don't think he realizes how important his presence is and how important him being on the field is. And just, you're a running back, dude. You in Division I football, you've got to nut up, buddy. Just nut up. Finish the game.
It's so interesting that you say that, because actually his agent actually put out something today with On3 Sports. We're talking, of course, about Dylan Edwards. His agent put out that he is not transferring. He's planning on playing the remaining games, and he's excited about it. So the fact that they're even saying that, like, he shouldn't have to say anything. Like, that tells you where the speculation is, the fan speculation is. There's a lot of stuff that shouldn't be happening with that particular player. Okay, let's take a look at the stats that I have compiled. You're going to like this, Kenny. This is new. I have, in addition to the I'll just pull it up right now. In addition to the regular stats, Kenny, on the left side, I have the improvements or the downgrade from the previous week and how big of an improvement it is.
Interesting. You put it as a yellow color instead of like a green or something, but that's probably because you can't see it very well with green.
Yellow is the best to see because it highlights it. You're highlighting.
Yeah, you're right.
Red means bad. Red means bad.
Right.
So K-State improved everywhere except for sacks, scoring defense, total defense, and passing defense, which is, not a shocker, honestly, considering who they just got done playing. So, but when looking at the overall stats, K-State versus TCU, you want – what happened there? I don't know what happened, Kenny.
The stats breakdown. No. It went away. Okay.
All right. So you want purple on your side, specifically dark purple. K-State has the advantage on total offense, passing offense, third down offense, fourth down offense, red zone offense, and defense, sacks allowed, and, of course, penalties, Kenny. K-State's second in the country in penalties, only having 4 per game.
Yeah, disciplined team. I always point that out. Like, the flags are really not coming out with with K-State. We're not getting a bunch of offsides or false starts, which is really good. I mean, you always say, Steve, when you start the game, when you start your drive off, I mean, they're drive killers. They're absolute drive killers when you get a false start, and K-State just hasn't been doing that. Despite this offensive line struggling in other areas, at least they don't jump at least they don't jump when they're not supposed to. So that is interesting. But yeah, I'm liking the improvements. Like we knew that a lot of the stats that came from the earlier part of the year came from a very fluky Army game, and that really did sort of,
that game and Arizona game really destroyed these stats for both sides of the ball.
Yeah, it doesn't really paint the true picture of K-State. That doesn't mean that K-State isn't what they are right now. I mean, it is. I mean, look, they played those games. This is what they ended up with. But if you watch the games and and you watch how they actually play, and you see the potential actually come to fruition, I mean, they're a good team. They just don't know how to finish a game. They don't know, and I hate saying this, but they don't know how to earn the win at the end of the game. So yeah,
I agree. Now here's the thing. So K-State does have an advantage overall, 9-8 versus TCU, but still K-State's they're in the 60s, 70s, and 80s and 90s for a lot of these. And so K-State really does need to continue getting better in almost everywhere. What I will say is, though, I do like that our third down offense and in our red zone offense and defense are, they had the advantage when they were playing TCU. I'm actually shocked that we also have the advantage in the fourth down offense. I think TCU's defense is actually worse than K-State's. I actually do. And I've watched them play. Yes, K-State played bad in a couple games. I just think overall, K-State is just better defensively than TCU. Not a lot better, but a little bit better. And I don't think – here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to compare K-State to Arizona State for a second. I do not think K-State's going to get down 17-0 to TCU. I just don't. If they do, I don't see how they come back. I don't see any way they come back in that game. But I do like K-State to still win this game. And it is nice to see, a while ago, it was all the other team. And every week, K-State's getting more and more of an advantage versus their opponents. Hopefully in a couple weeks, after K-State wins finally a couple games this week, and then the KU game are the two biggest games on the season, obviously. After they win a couple of those, I hope to see even more purple on the K-State advantage side for offense, defense, and everything else.
Yeah. I think, honestly, I agree with everything you said. And, I did like this comment a lot. Oh, my God, the rush defense is 107th and TCU's rush offense is 105th. Yeah, I mean, that is they're not a running team. And, I think a lot of the rush, quote unquote, rush defense, that really did boil down to the Army game, really put a hindrance on this team's stats because that game, the offense only played, I think, what was it? How many snaps did they play on the second half
16.
Of that arm? 16 snaps in the second half. Yeah. So that's obviously it's skewed. Okay, these stats are slightly skewed because of the
but
early
games matter. It happens. The games happen.
It's a game. It's they played the game and it happened. So I'm not saying that Army's world beaters because they're not. It's just that K-State they obviously didn't show up that game, and they're playing like the K-State that we hoped they would play recently, like the last couple weeks. That's the kind of game, or that's the kind of gameplay we wanted to see from the start, and we got it for the first quarter or the first half of the Iowa State game. We just didn't close. Again, this seems to be the problem with this team. They just can't close the game out. They can't ice the game away, which is frustrating. But like I said, you do like to see the penalties being low against K-State. You do like to start seeing a lot of these improvements coming through. Specifically, like you said, third down offense is great. Starting to come around with that, man. I mean, that was a problem early on in the season. We started, I mean, just last week alone, I mean, there was like 5 third downs in a single drive that we just kept getting. It's awesome to see, and they're starting to improve. And so with that, I do like K-State's chances. I do. It's one thing to just say it because you're a fan, but it's another thing to look at the stats and kind of see what these last, 6 weeks have kind of like culminated to. And honestly, TCU, they're not. I mean, they played Arizona State, which I believe is a really, really good team. I think they're the second best team in the conference right now. But other than that, who have they really played other than SMU and Arizona State? I mean,
no one. K-State's
no
played
one.
a schedule for sure.
Yeah. So I think TCU's numbers could also be skewed in their favor. Given that they played North Carolina, which we're starting to see that North Carolina is a joke.
They're having to put out statements that they're not firing their coach in their first year, which is wild.
Yeah, that's really crazy, especially a coach that was a, multi Super Bowl winner.
I'm starting to see that Tom Brady may have been the reason why. Okay, time to move on here, Kenny. Time to look at the stats award graphic. Finally, the second time this season, provided by Parker Fleming. We'll take a look at that, and then we'll give our score predictions and hot takes. Here we go. You want blue, specifically dark blue, to show that you have the advantage. You don't want red or dark red on yours for offense, defense, net field position, success rate for both. Unfortunately, K-State has too much red on their side to be the favorite in terms of the stats efficiency. They have K-State losing 34% of the time with a projected score of 31 for TCU and 22 for K-State. This does not take into advantage, again, strength of schedule, who they played, all of that. It strictly goes off of stats. So that's quite interesting. Anything you want to say about this before we move on, Kenny?
Well, I mean, like stats, they do give you some kind of idea of painting you a story, but you still have to watch what I think the eye test says a different story than what the stats say.
I agree.
And that's something that you have to consider. TCU is good. I don't want to like come in here and say that they're like, a trash team. They have very, very strong strengths on this team, and they know it. They know what their strengths are, and they play to those strengths, and it has won them games. And so I definitely want to caution, K-State fans or anybody who's looking at this right now and they're like, oh my gosh, there's no way that K-State's going to win. Well, if K-State comes out and plays like they did against Baylor, I believe that they have a very good chance of winning because
I agree.
The stats that you're seeing are a culmination of the schedule that they've already played. And we've already admitted, we've agreed K-State in the early part of the season was not it. I mean, They just didn't show up. They played bad. We understand. I mean, look, they played bad, but even though they've played bad, they're still only 13 points away from a 6-0 season, which is pretty wild to say. Just give that a thought, and I will say this. I don't think that it's a 34% chance. I think that's a little bit harsh, but again, stats are stats, and this is just a numbers outlook on things, and so you still got to play the game, and we'll see. I definitely, I'm looking at this, and it looks bad, but I definitely think that
it looks real bad.
I think that I think the eye test says a different story. That's all I'm going to say.
I agree with that. I mean, K-State doesn't have a single dark blue on here. TCU has 7. K-State has 4 dark reds, which is really bad, and TCU only has 1. But again, this does not take into advantage everything we've already talked about. I think the eye test says something different, at least lately. Kenny, as he is cleaning his
I'm just like struggling to try to get this dang camera to stay because it's like not working.
I'm sorry about that, bro. I'm sorry about that. Okay, let's get into our score predictions and hot takes for K-State versus TCU, baby. I'm going to pull up what it says in terms of who the favorite is. I think K-State is the underdog. Let me just pull it up real quick. K-State is a 1.5 point underdog, over under 56.5. Kenny, What's your score prediction for K-State versus TCU 2:30 Saturday at the Bill?
I got my score prediction here, Steve, and I'm going to say this. K-State has yet to break the 40-point barrier this season. They just haven't done it. Steve, they're going to continue not breaking that in this game. It's going to be a 35 to a 34 victory.
Got K-State winning 35-34, the opposite score of last week.
The opposite score of last week. That's this kind of season, Steve. It's this kind of a season where K-State will come out and somehow get that kind of score where they win a one-score game. I don't think they're going to win multiple scores. I don't think it's possible. I did say that K-State was going to lose last week, and I was right. I was sadly correct. But for whatever reason, look, K-State plays well at home. Okay, they get up for home games. I don't know why. You know, if you just ignore the Army game, they get up for home games. They play well there. And I just think they figured some. I think Avery, and I said this in your house when we were watching Baylor. I think something clicked with Avery during the Baylor game, and I think that Avery Johnson figured out what he needs to do, and he started to progress as a quarterback and started to figure out how to play this dang game the way that he needs to play it and put the team on his back. So I'm saying that Avery Johnson's going to rush for 3 touchdowns.
Oh, we're getting yeah, go ahead and do your hot take, and then I'll give my score prediction hot take.
Yeah, so Avery Johnson, he's gonna rush for 3 touchdowns. He's going to and K-State's going to win 35-34 in a hilarious score, from last week to this week, being the exact same score, just the opposite. That's also it's what K-State would do in a season like this, but it's also what TCU would end up pulling out. You know, they would also do something crazy like this. But and my hot takes for the defense, I want to call for 4 sacks. So 2 more than their average that they get per game. I think K-State's defensive line has the opportunity and the talent to be able to get back there and create some havoc, and I'd like to see it. 4 sacks for the night for the defensive line. And Avery, give me those 3 rushing touchdowns, please.
Love it. Okay, so here's what I'm going to say. I am not impressed with TCU. I'm not. They've won more games than K-State, of course. The win-loss matters the most, right? But from what I've seen, I just think K-State's better. I don't think TCU is going to be up for the challenge when coming to Manhattan. You know what happened the last time they played in Manhattan, Kenny? You know what the score was?
It was a blowout.
It was like 41-3. Let me look real quick just to be sure.
It was insane.
41-3, October 21st, 2023. I'm not saying K-State's going to win by that much, but I do think K-State's going to win by a couple scores. In fact, I think K-State's defense will finally hold a team to under 20 points. I got K-State winning 34-17 by 3 scores. I think Hoover's good, but I don't think their defense is good. I think Avery Johnson and Jace Brown, he's going to strap it up finally, Kenny. He's going to strap it up. The helmet's not coming off this week. The equipment manager talked to him. He maybe even cut his hair or put it in braids. That helmet is not coming off. I have Jace Brown, 2 touchdowns and 100-plus receiving yards. Defensively, I think K-State forces 3 turnovers in the game. I think K-State dominates from start to finish. I do. I got K-State winning 34-17. Getting back on track, baby.
I mean, if K-State comes out and dominates like you say you would, that will be the first game of the season that K-State starts and finishes a game in a dominant way. And I mean, Steve, as much as I would love to see that happen, I just can't bring my mind I can't bring my heart to believe that that's going to happen. I want it to happen. I want K-State to actually go out and dominate for 4 quarters, but they just haven't shown it yet. They let off the gas pedal every single game. And then on top of that, you also have to rely on the coaching that just doesn't seem to get it right either. You know, they also, it's like they're not doing any favors for their team, and so it's frustrating, and I know that, but I just don't see how you're gonna have TCU only get 17 points. Hey, it can happen. Anything can happen in college football. So, but I just want to say, it hasn't been, K-State hasn't dominated a football game yet. So we'll
Kenny,
see.
what would you say is the weak point for K-State's defense?
I think it would be just finishing the gosh dang game. I think that's
so. So let me rephrase this. Which unit is the worst? D-line, linebackers, or secondary?
You see, you want to say probably secondary just because.
I think you just answered my question. Okay. So K-State's pass defense is twice as good as a secondary for TCU. K-State has a 61st pass defense. TCU's 107th pass defense. 107th.
Yeah,
Avery Jones is going to have a career day against this defense, man. He's going to have.
I get it. I get it, but again, the K-State's defense isn't going against TCU's defense; they're going against TCU's offense.
I get it. I get it.
And they're numbered 9th in the country when it comes to third down offense. So, and what is K-State really bad at? Third down defense. They're just, we see it happen all the time. Third and long. And they just give it up. They always give up the big play, and we're just like, can we please just get a stop? And we never do. Then again, I don't know. I don't necessarily know if it's like the secondary, like as a whole, because again, we talked about how Austin Romaine's like, he's the best player on defense, if not.
He hasn't been playing like it though.
But you said that this isn't a good matchup for him because he's better in a run game. They don't have a run game. So my thing is that there have been moments in every single game where every position, every group has failed. Like defensive line is not getting off blocks, like, and getting to the quarterback. But then there's sometimes that they do. Then like the linebackers, they go to the wrong hole or they get completely blown up and missed tackles. Like that was something that was like bizarre, like not finishing tackles. Corners and safeties, like sometimes you'll see an interception, you're like, oh my gosh, like they're actually turning it around, and then you see you see them get blown up in 3 plays, and then they get you know what I mean, like,
right.
So it's like it's literally a frustrating thing because it's always like there's no consistency across the board.
I get it. I get it.
But as a whole, if everybody played like out of their mind and played consistently throughout the whole game, then yeah, this K-State defense looks great. Then this K-State offense looks great. But they just are not a consistent team, and it's like when they've got their opponent down and their foot is on their neck, instead of finishing it, the Mortal Kombat finish him. K-State literally just pulls out a health potion and gives it to their opponent and says, "Here you go. Actually, we're not in the business of finishing you. We want you to actually come back and finish us."
Wow.
Yeah. All right. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay. All right. I dig it. Well, that's our K-State versus TCU preview. We'll be back with a video. It'll be live for you guys tomorrow, but we're going to shoot it here in a little bit. Big 12 week 7 picks, Kenny. Week 7 picks. It's wild. We're already halfway through the season. Yeah, I know. I'll tell you what. Last week was a walrus and something else and a polar bear, and this week we got potions. Yes, potions. Oh shit! All right. Well,
health potions.
Oh my gosh, dude. Okay, well.
Oh my god.
Do you got anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Yes, I do. I'm actually going to be playing a soccer game here in about an hour and a half, and We are currently 2-1. I'd like to be 3-1 by the end of today.
We got volleyball
and
on Saturday.
We have volleyball on Saturday as well.
We're 4-2.
We're
We'll hope
4-2.
to be 6-2 after Saturday, but we will be without our best player. So hopefully the rest of the team steps up. That's what we need.
Yeah,
so.
That's right. That
is.
Kenny,
I just want to say real quick, today's a Thursday. I seem to only get sick on weekend or weekdays. I must have a weekend immune system.
I feel you there, man. I feel you there.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Be sure to do the thing. You know what I'm talking about. I see you looking at it now. You're looking at it. You're deciding if you're going to click it. Go ahead and just do it. Just go ahead and click it. Just go ahead and give it a nice click. And everybody, again, we appreciate you. And go Big 12 and go Cats.
Go Cats, baby. I'm all about the walrus.